Hi, my name is Erica and I'm from Jamaica. I always thought my adoptive parents were the best people on earth, but I was totally shattered when I found out what they were hiding from me. Before I continue my story, please like and subscribe to our channel. Growing up, I felt nothing but love from mom and dad, especially since I had a rare skin condition called xeroderma pigmentosum. It basically means my skin is sensitive to sunlight. I was homeschooled and I had everything I needed, including an indoor swimming pool, tennis court, and garden. I really didn't feel the need to venture into the outside world until Milan moved in next door. Milan was the cutest 16-year-old boy I'd ever seen, and with his bedroom opposite my own, it was easy to catch glimpses of him during the day. A few weeks after he'd moved in, he caught me looking at him, and my face turned red as a tomato. I quickly closed my curtains. When I peeked out again, he stuck a piece of cardboard with his number on it. Now, I don't usually do things like that, but I entered the number into my phone, and that's how we began to chat online. One afternoon, the doorbell rang and Mom answered it. It was Milan.
Good evening. I came to ask your permission to take Erica out on a date.
I've heard about you, Milan, and there is no way my Erica is going to be seen with a gang leader.
Mom slammed the door in his face and I snuck back to my room, shocked. A gang leader? Mom must be mistaken. Gang leaders are vile, obscene, tattooed creatures. Milan was respectful, funny, and well-educated. I quickly messaged Milan and told him I'd love to go out with him, and I'd meet him by the corner in 15 minutes. I slipped on a cute outfit and quickly made my way to the corner where Milan was standing. Hi.
Hi, you look beautiful.
I blushed. Thank you. First, we went to the movies, then decided to get something to eat at the Chinese restaurant a few minutes away. As we were waiting, an older lady kept staring at me and I shifted uncomfortably in my seat.
What's wrong?
It's her. Milan held my hand.
Well, you are the most beautiful girl in the world. Why wouldn't she stare?
Milan closed his eyes and leaned forward. Was this going to be my first kiss? My stomach bubbled and I prayed I didn't throw up in Milan's lap. I leaned forward and... Milan swore under his breath as he leaned back. Before us stood a middle-aged man and woman.
It's you, isn't it? My baby. Doesn't she look like Kaylee?
She clung to the man. What are you talking about? I'm not your baby.
We lost you about 15 years ago.
Okay, I think it's time for us to leave.
Milan held my hand as we slid out of the booth. The woman grabbed my hand.
You are my baby. I just know it.
Tears streamed down her face. Are you crazy? What is wrong with you? Let me go. I tried to pull my hand free, but the woman refused to loosen her grip. The man turned the woman's face to him.
Baby, you have to let her go.
She released me and buried her face in the man's chest as she cried. Milan and I quickly left the restaurant without our order. As I lay in bed that night and recalled the events of the evening, I couldn't sleep. I decided to go to the kitchen to get a warm glass of milk to help me sleep. As I passed Dad's office, I heard muffled voices.
We need to leave.
Why?
She snuck out. If she continues to see that boy, she'll realize she isn't really sick. We can't have anyone finding out about who she really is.
Where will we go? We don't even have a passport for Erica.
I'll get that organized. Tie up loose ends here because tomorrow we need to head to the airport.
I snuck past the office and left the house. I threw pebbles at Milan's bedroom window till he opened it. Milan snuck me in through the back door and we went up to his room. After I told him everything, he looked at me.
So, what are you gonna do?
I'm not sure, but I don't want to be away from you. Milan pulled me into a kiss and I melted into him. When he pulled away, he tucked my hair behind my ear.
We'll come up with a plan tomorrow, okay? Get some rest tonight.
Milan walked me to his front lawn and watched as I crossed the road to return home. As I crossed the street, a car screeched to a halt next to me and I was dragged into the car. I screamed for Milan, but the car sped away before he could respond. I struggled hard until I realized the man who held me was the same man from the restaurant. Soon we came to a small house that we hustled into quickly.
We are so sorry we did that, but I didn't want to lose you again.
The couple proceeded to tell me that when I was a year old, they were traveling with me when I was kidnapped at the airport.
But we never stopped looking for you. I was here visiting my sister when I saw you.
The man brought out some photo albums and showed me pictures of their daughter Kaylee and other members of their family.
I was wondering if you'd be willing to take a DNA test.
As crazy as it sounded, I said yes. After the DNA swab, I was dropped off in front of my house. The man gave me his number and nodded before he drove off. I expected to see police cars, but there was nothing.
Erica!
Mom squeezed me.
Where have you been?
That doesn't matter. We need to leave now.
Dad said as he began to grab the luggage by the door.
I'm not leaving. Now you listen here. You are getting into that car without another word. Do you hear me?
Oh, I heard Dad all right, but I wasn't about to go without a fight. I kicked and screamed to the car, in the car, and when we arrived at the airport. As soon as we arrived, I bolted and screamed that I was being kidnapped. It wasn't long before Mom, Dad, and I were surrounded by officers. Mom and Dad were taken to one room to be questioned while I was taken to another.
Is there anyone you'd like us to call for you?
I pulled out the number and handed it to the officer. About 30 minutes later, the couple showed up and the officers decided to place everyone in the same room to be interrogated. The couple shared their story and then Mom and Dad. Documents were handed over to the officers. One officer left the room with the documents and returned a few minutes later and shook his head.
Well, Mom and Dad, it appears that your adoption papers are fake.
Not only were they fake, but after further investigation, the officers revealed that Mom worked at the same airport where the couple lost their baby 15 years ago. As for me, I was whisked away to a foster family until the DNA results came back. At nights, I'd sneak text and call Milan from my foster mother's cell phone to tell him how miserable I was and how much I missed him. 2 weeks later, a social worker visited me.
I'm sorry to inform you, but your biological parents died in an accident last night. Your DNA tests prove they were your real parents.
I was devastated.
You'll have to stay in foster care until a family member decides to take you in.
That night, I woke up to someone covering my mouth. It was Milan. He motioned me to keep quiet. I dressed quickly and snuck out of the house with Milan where a car was waiting. We stayed at a house with some of Milan's friends. I got everything I wanted, and I got the love and attention I needed from Milan. Milan taught me how to pick pockets, so I had my own money. He was also very protective of me. One time, he saw a guy just staring at me, and Milan beat him up. I wasn't fazed because that's what a boyfriend is supposed to do, right? Protect his girl. One night, I was in the kitchen preparing something to eat when I heard the guys come in. I guess they thought I was out with Milan because what I heard next raised the hair on the back of my neck.
Don't mess with Milan, he's not one to be messed with.
I heard he's the one who tampered with Erica's parents' brakes.
What did you say about Milan and my parents?
We don't need to say anything to you.
Just then, the front door opened and Milan walked in.
What's happening here?
Your stupid friends here said that you tampered with my parents' brakes.
Oh, they did?
Milan held my hand and took me to the bedroom.
Babe, it's not what you think. I did it to save you, protect you, because I love you. I didn't want anyone to take you away from me.
Milan tried to kiss me, but I pushed him away. So you killed my parents? I raised my hand to slap him across the face, but he held my arm firmly and pushed me onto the bed. He walked out and closed the door behind him. I went behind him and tried to open the door, but it was locked. Things drastically changed. I was only allowed to leave the room only to go to the bathroom. No matter how much I begged Milan and promised to be good, he refused to let me out. One night, after one of the guys dropped my dinner into my room, I noticed my door was slightly open. I snuck past the guys who were watching a game on the TV and into the kitchen. I lit a match and set the kitchen curtains on fire. Then, I snuck into the bedrooms to do the same.
Fire! Fire!
I ran back to the living room. The guys ran out of the house. The front door was wide open. But before I could move, Milan stepped in front of me.
You aren't leaving here, Erica. If I can't have you, no one will.
Milan and I fought. The smoke got thick and pieces of the house crumbled around us.
Milan, we need to get out.
No!
With my last bit of strength, I body slammed Milan and he fell backwards. I gasped for air as I ran out of the house. I looked backwards. I saw a shadow moving in the house. Suddenly, the entire house caved in. That was the last thing I saw before I passed out on the grass. Where am I?
Hi, you're in hospital. I'm your Auntie Talia, your mom's sister. And this is your sister, Kaylee.
Over the next few days, I got to know my aunt and sister, but I couldn't help but wonder about all the things I had set into motion because of that one decision I made. About a week later, as we drove from the hospital, I glanced at the side view mirror and noticed someone waving. When I looked back, I realized it was Milan.